Is Zubair on behalf of B Electronics, and in this video, we'll be exploring both the budget constraint line and the production possibilities frontier curve. Okay, now even though they both are similar to some extent, there are differences. Okay, for example, if you look at the budget constraint line, let me draw this over here. If you look at the budget constraint line, your budget constraint line could look something like this. Okay, where you have good A and good B. Okay, whereas a production possibilities frontier, let's assume this is PPF, production possibilities frontier. Okay, and this is your budget constraint lines. So budget constraint line BCL. All right, your production possibilities frontier, this looks somewhat of a curve. Okay, and the reason why it looks like a curve is because of law of diminishing returns. Okay, as you consume more of a good, as you allocate, in this case, more of resources, okay, towards a certain good, let's say good B, okay, just like your marginal utility, where marginal utility goes down after consumption, okay, your marginal benefit, or in this case, okay, the marginal benefit of allocating resources to produce good B will eventually get reduced, as a result of which the line becomes steeper and steeper, right? The opportunity cost on the other side of producing good B goes up as the line becomes steeper, more of a vertical line. And the reason why the opportunity cost goes up is because even though the benefit from producing good B, let's say on the curve, okay, just between these 2 points, for example, opportunity cost of giving up good A. Okay, so that's basically your production possibilities frontier when it comes to opportunity cost. Now, notice this is a straight line and this is a curve. The reason why your BCL, your budget constraint line, is a straight line because it has to do with prices of these two goods, the relative prices of these two goods. So, suppose you were to take $10 from your bank account and had to decide where you wanted to spend each and every dollar. Okay, you would spend money based on things like marginal utility per dollar, okay, which has to do with marginal benefit per dollar. Okay, so if the marginal benefit per dollar is more when you spend on good B, you will go ahead and spend that dollar on good B. Okay, so as the marginal utility per dollar goes up for a good, okay, the person, the individual, and this is an individual budget constraint line, so to speak, okay, the individual will be more inclined towards producing good B. Okay, as a result of which you can see a curve that starts at this point over here for good A, and it's a downward sloping curve. So basically, it's moving towards the horizontal line over here, which represents the quantity for good B. So as marginal utility, okay, or marginal benefit in this case goes up for good B, the production goes up. For good B, the amount of money being spent goes up on good B. Over here, as the person moves away from good A when it comes to allocating resources, raw materials, so on and so forth, okay, he's moving towards good B. Okay, and the more he moves away from good A, okay, the marginal benefit of producing good B goes down and the opportunity cost of producing good B goes up. All right, now, apart from that, there are a few other terms that you might want to keep in mind. One is scarcity, which has to do with both of these graphs. Okay, so scarcity has to do with having something in scarce amount, okay, which is the opposite of a free good. If something is scarce, you don't have too much of it. Okay, an example of scarce good would be gold, as a result of which the price is high when it comes to gold because it's a precious metal. It's also a rare metal. Okay, when it comes to platinum, for example, the price is high for platinum because it's a precious metal. The reason why it's a precious metal, apart from its qualities, is because it's rare. Okay, so when it comes to scarcity, scarcity has to do with the availability of things like raw materials, commodities, metals, so on and so forth. So, okay, availability, okay, which is not too much compared to a free good. All right, so that would be scarcity. Now, apart from scarcity, you also have to consider trade-offs. Okay, so when it comes to trade-offs, okay, you have trade-offs on your budget constraint line when you trade off good B for good A when it comes to spending your money. Okay, and there is trade-off on the production possibilities frontier chart, where there is a trade-off of resources and raw materials as you produce good B compared to good A. Okay, so that is basically trade-off, which has to do with trading off or giving up. Okay, sort of like an exchange. So trade-off. Okay, over here you have exchange of money or trade-off of money. Over here you have trade-off of raw materials and resources. So that is basically trade-off. Okay, giving up one to produce the other. Give up one to produce the other. All right, so that would be trade-off. Now, apart from trade-off, we also talked about allocative and productive efficiency for a production possibilities frontier, which is this curve over here. Okay, the productive efficiency is based on movement along the curve. As long as there is movement along the curve, as long as you exchange raw materials for producing good B, okay, and as long as you exchange raw materials away from good A for the production of good B, okay, you have productive efficiency. Okay, and as long as this productive efficiency also leads to some kind of social good where the benefit to the society is more than the cost, it will lead to allocative efficiency. All right, so that would be an example of productive versus allocative efficiency on the production possibilities frontier chart. All right, now apart from that, as I mentioned earlier, this is a straight line, okay, your budget constraint line, and this one is a curve. And it gets steeper as it moves towards the horizontal axis over here. Okay, so that's it for this video. On behalf of electronics, have yourself a great day.